Let's see if we can get a better understanding of curves like we did with levels. Let's go in and always work smart. We'll use our adjustments panel. Here's the button to make a curves adjustment. So just go ahead and select that button. And we're going to make it bigger by clicking here, just like in levels. A lot of this stuff is the same in both. We have our options up here to either use a curves adjustment that's preset, or we can make our own. Remember, if you make any changes to the curve here, and it's something you would like to keep, all you have to do is go here and say Save Curve Preset, give it a name. It would then appear in this list when you need it again. And of course, you can delete them if you don't want them anymore. This button right here, I like this. It allows me to do some very quick evaluation of an image. Click the button. Move over into the image. See that circle that's appearing over on that null line? That circle represents where I am in terms of luminosity. If I want to create a point right there, while I'm over here, click your mouse. Now, once you've done that, watch what happens when I drag up and down. It allows me to control it from that point. I can come back over, maybe go down to about here, put another point, and begin the same process. What I'm doing here is basically creating what we call an S-curve for contrast, a little bit more than what we need, but you get the point. I do like this option. It allows me to go into the image, evaluate what I need, and then go ahead and select, click and drag right at that point. I'm going to turn that off, and we'll go ahead and go back to default. So we're back to where we started. Of course, we have the ability to access our color channels. Now, that could be CMYK, it could be LAB. We're currently on an RGB image. So if we work here, we're working with tonal values. If we work on these, we're working with color. We know that. The button I almost never use is right here called Auto. You have your eyedroppers here, just like in levels, and they function and work the same way to locate blacks, whites, and midpoints. This button right here represents what we're doing. We're working with that curve. Remember what goes on here. This represents input. These are the values that are actually in the image right now. This represents output. If I move this line, let me put a point right here in the middle. It's right there in the middle. Notice my input and output values down here are both the same. So in other words, my input's 128 and the value of the lightness of the pixels is 128. They're the same. If I begin moving this one, and I'll move it up, I'm using my arrow keys too, you will notice this one begins going up. This one isn't because I'm not moving left or right. So what I'm saying, computer, all pixels that had an original mid-tone value of 128, make those 151s. That means lighter, and you can see the curve is distributed and it's bending it. So the higher I go, the lighter the image gets. The lower I go, the darker it gets. It's a simple process, but you can put as many points in practicality on that line as you need to do just about anything you want to fix this image exactly the way you want to, and you can't do that in levels. So we have more control here. The next one down looks like a pencil tool, which actually allows you to come in here and draw a curve. Now, believe it or not, we do have curves that look somewhat like that. This button now becomes available and allows you to begin to smooth the curve out. This one gives us more of a line with points on it. This one allows us to draw. Let's go ahead and take that back to default again. This button, just like in levels, gives me a more accurate histogram, exactly what's going on in that image. And of course, the buttons down here are pretty much the same. You have this button that allows you to come back into adjustments and choose another adjustment if you want, then go back. This button makes it bigger or smaller. This one is that clipping group that allows this layer to be clipped only to one other layer. This, of course, is show hide. This button allows me to go to the previous state. Let me show you that. Say we do that. We now have a previous state. It'll take you to the previous state. This one resets everything. So far, there's the curves dialog box. Come up here to this button, and you will notice that we do have some options. Like, for example, Auto Select Targeted Adjustment Tool. That's this. If you want it selected when you come into curves, click that button. Of course, we can save, load, and delete presets. This one is options. Let me do something over here first. Let me go in and do a color process so you can see these other lines. Now let's go into our options. Some of the options are show amount of light or pigment. Notice what it does. In a sense, it reverses the curve. The blacks are down here, and now they're over on the other side. It's like, okay, it looks like a mirror image, so everything would kind of work opposite. And you're right. If you work in the four-color press world, in the world of subtractive color, you are probably more comfortable working in curves defined as pigments of ink as a percentage, which is really just the opposite. If you don't work a lot in the four-color area, you're probably going to be happy right here. This is channel overlays. You can see those go away if you don't want to see those. The histogram can go away, the baseline can go away, the intersections can go away. This gives you a 10 or a 5 grid. I prefer a 10, doesn't make any difference to what you do. I just like that better. It gives me more visual cues on what I'm doing. Click OK. Down here, we can reset our curves. Of course, here's all your other ones that you can choose, and then you can close it or close it as a group. That concludes our tour of the Curves dialog box. Now it's time to get to work.